I started using social media when I was very young. So there's a lot of content that I posted last time. So I'm not sure whether, like when I go to work and then my employer, will they see like what I posted when I was 14? Like I'm very sad today because I failed my test, that kind of thing.
What my friends share with me and tag my name in it, I don't actually have control, and this may affect me in the future. For example, like applying for a job or interview.
There was a case of my Nokia phone where I shared that I posted unpleasant comments on their wall. So for now, it has benefited me because they have made an exchange for me. But I do not know next time, let's say my employer, he searches back when he sees me using unpleasant words. I'm not sure if it might affect me in the future.
Social media is a powerful tool, but how can we use it to our advantage? And should employers judge their potential employees based on their online profile? Hi, I'm Daniel Martin. We're in NUS, and in this segment, we talk to students about social media as a personal branding tool. I have with me on the panel Professor Mohan Datta, Head of Department of Communications and New Media at NUS. Ms. Megan Fitzgerald is a social media expert and international career coach from Career by Choice. And Ms. Silver Ang, an actress, show host, and well-known Singaporean blogger.
I think it's incredibly important for you to communicate your unique value online because employers and recruiters are out there looking for people. They have jobs to fill. And I think without a differentiating, compelling message of value, you can miss out on opportunities where people are looking for you. You can also miss out on connecting with people who may see your profile as attractive.
Can you give us an example of how to customize your profile? Are you talking about making sure it's only flattering photos used and you only post the very positive things on your page about yourself? I mean, how would you customize?
There are 1 million people in Singapore on LinkedIn. Okay, about a fifth of population, probably 2/3 of the working population. Now, if you have a profile that doesn't have a picture, that doesn't have a summary section, that really communicates what you offer, what your skills, knowledge, and experience is, how are people going to know about you? How are people going to understand how you can deliver value to them, to potential employers? Your CV is not your first point of contact with people. Online is. Your LinkedIn profile is such a core part of your online profile. If you do nothing else, be sure to build out that LinkedIn profile and make sure that it sends a very unique and compelling message to employers.
Adding on to that, I think it's not just on LinkedIn, but if you have a blog or if you have Instagram or YouTube, there's always an About Me section or a small descriptive at the side about who you are.
Building your online profile is about being honest, but not being uncensored. So when you're talking about your professional life, you can talk about your interests, your hobbies. That can actually make you more human, an interesting person, maybe even impress people. But at the same time, we don't want to be uncensored. We don't want to talk about our skills at partying on the weekend or how angry we are about a particular political situation. But if someone is really keen to find out about you online, there are internet archive tools that can allow people to go back in time and look at information that used to be posted that's no longer visible now. So really take care about what you put online because it can have a real impact and it's there to stay.
Not all social media perform the same kind of function. So when I'm putting up a profile on LinkedIn, it has very specific expectations that are attached to it, which would be very different from the kind of profile that one puts up on Facebook. But part of that then, from an employer standpoint as well as from an employee standpoint, I wanted to articulate is this idea of authenticity that you touched on. And it's important to be professional, but I think it's also important to be authentic, to be true to oneself in terms of what they are sharing. So social media is not a place where you can spin. Because if you're thinking about it as a space to spin, people will find out and that will ultimately affect the trust that they put in you or in the organization that you are behind.
Great point. I want to throw it to the floor. We have a question coming in. Go ahead.
Yes, I agree with their points. And I think with regards to a job search, because some of us are going to be graduating soon, I think social media is a very good platform to enhance our job applications because there's something called building a social media presence, which means social media can be a platform for you to showcase like some of the side projects you've been doing.
I want to do a quick poll of the crowd right here. How many of you are very confident that something you post today will not be used against you when you're applying for your jobs? Hands up. All have changed their mind. How many of you think that what you say today could have an impact on your job search in future? Oh, I think we've changed everyone's minds, Megan. So what advice would you have to the young people today, now that they seem to have been shocked into obeisance maybe? What would you say in terms of how they can start afresh? Maybe they've really had an online footprint for like 10 years. Should they start afresh?
Well, I think if that content is in support of who you are and the profile that you want to put forward, then by all means build on it. But if there is, I mean, a lot of times people are young, they share kind of things that probably wouldn't be something you'd want the employer to know about. What you can do is you can go back and try to remove information that you may have posted. You can go to other people and you can ask them if they could remove information. They're not always going to do it, but you definitely should ask. And then what you need to do is you need to post as much positive information online, information that's going to be aligned with what you want people to know about you. The more positive information you have online, the more you can bury that negative or that, shall we say, misaligned information. So new content is indexed all the time. So just keep posting. It will take some time, but I think ultimately, if you think about the fact that your online reputation is really, really critical to your online job search, it's well worth the investment.
Thank you so much to all our panelists for joining us on this session. And thank you to our students as well for voicing their thoughts on the very first edition of Talking Point live on campus from the National University of Singapore. Thank you so much for clicking on these video links. Come back to our Facebook page next week as Talking Point live on campus hits the road again to our next campus site. Stay tuned to Talking Point's Facebook page for all the details. That does it for this edition. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Two, three, Doggy Boy!